Plant protection science mainly focuses on mastering crop diseases, pests, and weeds, and other harmful organisms' green control methods. The weeds refers to weeds. Weeds emerged alongside human agricultural civilization. With the development of agricultural production, they compete with crops for light, water, nutrients, and land, affecting crop growth and development in various ways, resulting in reduced crop yield and quality decline. Weed infestation in farmland has become a major obstacle to high-quality and high-yield agriculture. Some weeds also threaten human and livestock health and even cause difficulties for land and water transportation and industrial development. So, what exactly are weeds? What do they include? Weeds emerged alongside human agricultural production activities. Therefore, many definitions of weeds are premised on the relationship between plants and human activities or desires, including plants growing in the wrong place, unwanted plants, plants beyond cultivation purposes, plants without practical or ornamental value, plants that interfere with human land use, plants not intentionally cultivated by humans, adapted to artificial habitat, and interfering with human activities, etc. The scope of weeds includes not only seed plants, but also woody plants, spore-bearing plants, algae, etc. Meanwhile, cultivated crops can also become weeds, such as corn in soybean fields or red clover in grass, lawns, etc. Currently, there are over 8,000 weed species worldwide, of which 1,200 directly harm crops or serve as hosts for crop pests and diseases. 30 to 40 species cause particularly severe damage and are difficult to control. China has over 580 weed species, with 25 to 30 noxious weed species. In recent years, many regions in China have suffered invasion by Canada goldenrod, causing severe economic losses. Canada goldenrod was introduced to China in 1935 as an ornamental garden plant, subsequently escaped to the wild and became a noxious weed in East China, Central China, North China, South China, and other regions. Canada goldenrod often reproduces rapidly in invaded areas, forming monospecific dominant communities, threatening biodiversity, even causing local extinction of native species and reducing yields in farmland and orchards. In the United States, the most troublesome weed is tumbleweed. Tumbleweed, scientifically known as Russian thistle, is a desert shrub. Because of its round appearance and light weight, it can roll continuously with the wind, hence called tumbleweed. Tumbleweed is not native to the United States, but was introduced in 1870 with imported flax seeds from Russia. This plant has extremely strong vitality. Its dispersal ability is also very formidable. It is reported that each tumbleweed plant can carry about 250,000 seeds. No matter how poor the land is, as long as seeds are sown, they can take root and sprout. It has virtually no natural enemies in the United States because no birds are willing to eat its seeds, and cattle and sheep won't consume its roots, stems, or leaves either, leading to tumbleweeds growing more and larger, rapidly spreading across the entire North American continent. Tumbleweeds are fluffy and dry. Once ignited, they can cause very severe fires. Besides this, tumbleweeds have also caused great harm to the local ecological environment. They absorb large amounts of water, increasing soil dryness, promoting soil erosion. Meanwhile, tumbleweeds harbor pests that cause agricultural damage. Moreover, tumbleweeds themselves during the dispersal process carry bacteria and viruses. You have already mastered the definition of weeds. Next, let's learn about weed classification. From the origin of weeds, modern farmland weeds can be divided into obligate weeds, facultative weeds, and weedy forms of crops, 3 types. Obligate weeds are those for which wild or semi-wild types have never been discovered, with unknown origin growing alongside human activities. Their wild stage and closely related cultivated crops, which has not yet been discovered, such as field bindweed, darnel, etc. Facultative weeds exist both in the wild and growing in farmland, such as prickly pear cactus, wild vetch, wild onion, etc. Weedy forms of crops. Many crops we cultivate have weedy forms, such as wild potato, wild sunflower. These weeds' growth habits are similar to crops. For example, wild oats' germination period, maturity period, growth and reproduction characteristics are all similar to wheat, thus making control difficult. Students, After mastering weed species and types, please consider what specific harms do weeds cause.